It's very obvious at this point that something really big is getting ready to happen as we continue to get more and more leaks and more information coming out about what's to come. It continues to raise concerns, and for those who weren't believers about a live event for the end of this season, there may be some stuff in store to change your mind. Alright, so first up, even though we just got an update yesterday, we know we're going to be getting an update next week as well, the final update for this season, as patch 21.51 has been added to the staging servers. Apparently, there are a lot of things in the coding and in the files that may actually call for an event coming up here at the end of the season, but at the very least, we're going to be getting a mini live event with progressive changes over the end of the season and leading into the next one. The beautiful thing about this is we don't even have to wait long at all, literally just 6 days, less than a week, and then we'll basically have our answer as to whether or not we'll see a full-fledged live event at the end of the season, which personally, I'm holding out a lot of hope for, and I definitely think it's possible. So recently it's come to my attention that there are now rift butterflies on the map, and to clarify, there are new colors of rift butterflies on the map, as before yesterday's update, there definitely were not this many colors of rift butterflies. The Storm King on Twitter says it seems that around the island there are these butterflies. The rift butterflies were already in the map, but I think not the gold, purple, and white butterflies. Can they match the golden cube, purple cube? And could the last one be the shadow butterfly? That's when Caspel Leaks replies and says Shadow Cube, Live Event Season 7 of Chapter 2, Purple Cube, Gold Cube, and Blue Cube. And of course, since we're talking about the butterfly here, there is a very high probability that these would correspond with the cubes, as they've done many times, and as we know they do in the past. Since we know that Kevin the Cube, and really a majority of the cubes to come after him, were controlled by the last reality, reading all of this made me really think about a particular scene of the Cube Queen in particular, and that would be during her trailer here, when at the very end, she gets a butterfly in her hand and crushes it. Not to mention, there are multiple different butterflies scattered around this trailer. Remembering this scene rekindled my memories and all my theories that I've discussed previously about the Cube Queen remaining alive after the Chapter 2 finale. I really do believe she's still alive. That's been a pretty popular theory since the end of that chapter, and now it could be finally time for that to come true. Knowing the Cube Queen's personality, there is no doubt she would want to take extreme vengeance upon the people who foiled her master plan, and kidnapping them and taking them to some faraway place, taking them completely out of the fight for a round 2, definitely makes a lot of sense if you ask me. Next up, we have some pretty big Zero War Comics issue number 5 spoilers that help to paint a different picture in our head about maybe what has happened or will happen in the future. So if you don't want to learn about these, turn away now. Remember back in the collision event when 2 people fell into the 0 point? We knew for a fact that one of them was the imagined, but we couldn't quite get a good look at the other person, and perhaps it was maybe just a placeholder, but the real person who fell in alongside the imagined was Jano, as confirmed by Hypex. This is pretty crazy. I mean, this is really high tier stuff right here if true. It means Jano would have had to have been on the island and on the map during the collision event, which I, and I'm sure you, were greatly unaware of. This comic will be taking place during the collision event, and apparently we'll get to see how Sloane dies and Jones plus the Foundation returning by Season 3. In other words, what happened in that hazy spot that we don't quite know a lot about. This confirms a couple things. Number one, it confirms that there was indeed a decent amount of time that has passed since the end of Chapter 3 Season 2 and Chapter 3 Season 3. Also, by the way this wording is, it makes me think that Sloane actually did die, which contradicts some of the theories that we have had on the channel and I've seen spread across social media over the course of the last few months. Next up, there's a 7-built Hulkbuster that's coming to the game, which is super cool to see. You guys will remember we discussed that leak on the channel a couple videos ago, and of course, it seems that is coming true, and the 7 are building it. Could this be another one of their improvised mechs, or even just another version of the mech in general, to see sort of what happens, and maybe they can turn the tide in whatever kind of a battle they might end up finding themselves in? Lord knows, they'll need all the help they can get at this point. And then finally, apparently, 2 main characters will die. Yes, they will die. It will be Night Night and Lights Out for 2 of our main characters, which is extremely intriguing and immediately paves the way for a ton of different questions. Number 1, my first question is, if they're members of the 7, potentially even 2 members of the 7, which, let's be real, is very likely, who will replace them? Would that finally pave the way for the legend, aka Jones, to end up finding himself a member after all? The leak didn't necessarily say antagonist or protagonist, so I guess it could be either one, it could be either side. I mean, I would say Jano is a main character, and if Jano dies, it wouldn't exactly be the end of the Fortnite world as we know it. And that's why, to me, it's important to consider all different angles and everybody who could potentially fall victim to whatever event is going to happen at the end of this season, or at the very least in the comics. I hope it's pretty obvious to everyone that the storyline is once again in full drive. When this season started, I was at first very happy with the storyline. All of a sudden, it suddenly fell off, went pretty low-key, and was pretty uninteresting for a while, but now in the last couple of weeks, we've been getting hit by update after leak, after update, after confirmation, after Donald Mustard lying to us. I mean, it's really been all over the place, and at this point, this is what you expect from Fortnite, and I'm glad, at least towards the end of the season, better late than never, right? They're actually putting some stuff forward and making things interesting. We've definitely made some recent discoveries, but we still have a long way to go and a lot that could happen between now and the end of the season, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel and leave your best theories and suggestions down in the comment section below. I would love to read them and feature some of you in an upcoming video. Until next time, guys, take it easy, stay safe, and peace out.